The government is considering beaming TV content directly to mobile phones without a cellular data connection. The Department of Telecommunications and India's public service broadcaster, Prasar Bharati, are exploring the feasibility of this technology. But it needs the mobile device to be equipped with an Advanced Television Systems Committee or ATSC standards to function. IIT Kanpur and Prasar Bharati demonstrated this service recently, but the smartphone manufacturers Samsung and Qualcomm and telecom gear makers Ericsson and Nokia are not happy. They sent a letter to the Ministry of Communication on the matter last month, saying that currently the phones in India are not equipped with ATSC 3.0 standard, and if the ATSC 3.0 is to be introduced into the mobile phones, the handset prices will increase by at least $30. The letter also claimed that the direct to mobile broadcasting will hamper the battery performance and cellular reception. In a different letter dated 16th of October, India Cellular and Electronics Association or ICEA, which is a lobbying group of smartphone makers like Apple and Xiaomi, has also opposed the proposed move. It said that currently no major handset maker globally supports ATSC 3.0. The technology exists in countries like the US and South Korea, but the reception of this technology has been limited due to the lack of devices that support it. For the Indian government, the live TV broadcast features are a way to offload the congestion on telecom networks due to higher video consumption. At the moment, India is the biggest video content consumer in the world. According to a report by Media Partners Asia, a 15-month period spanning January 2022 to March 2023, Indians spent 6.1 trillion minutes online just watching videos. The proposal is still under deliberation and there is no fixed timeline for implementation. So, if India mandates equipping smartphones with ATSC 3.0 standards to receive live TV signals, what impact will that have on the consumers?
If this is implemented by the government, it will have a slightly positive impact on the consumers, especially for those people who are residing in remote locations, far off places, rural areas where they don't have access to good internet connection. So for them, this will be a boon. They'll be able to access the broadcasting TV channel services on their smartphone, which is more convenient. Also, direct to mobile services can provide higher video quality resolution streaming like 4K and better audio quality using the broadcasting airwaves, which also offers lower latency. So it will enhance the overall user experience.
And how will it impact mobile phone manufacturers?
The manufacturers will incur a very large cost and will, in theory, be investing in a standard which is not very widely used, and and it will obviously affect the economics of their business, whether it is the production at some kind of scale of these things, or of course the increased cost, which would in theory of course translate into less demand in some ways. I mean, because consumers tend to be sensitive to price. So unless manufacturers can justify subsidizing this, the costs would be some things that would deter manufacturers, and it is something that policymakers and regulators must keep in mind.
But there are limits for the government to mandate such a technology.
The legality of that also will become an issue because the players are licensed players. They have, their licenses provide them with both obligations as well as rights. So it is not something that should be attempted without careful consideration.
Experts believe that the direct to mobile broadcasting will deal a blow to the telecom service providers.
Operators will also not be very much happy if this implementation happens because since now voice is mostly free and not a very big revenue source for them, data is the only major revenue source for the operators, given the lower ARPU of the Indian subscribers. and video consumption forms the majority part of that data consumption. So that will lead to lower revenue sources, and operators might have to change or tweak their business model to implement the broadcasting services into their portfolio, which will also incur more capex, and they will also need to develop a different set of infrastructure to support such services. So it will have a negative impact on them.
Manufacturers believe that incorporating a separate baseband processing unit would significantly increase smartphone costs and potentially disrupt LTE and 5G networks' internal design. But what about consumers? Some experts believe that this technology has potential and it should be brought to the consumers once it is viable.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She has ambitions of becoming a brand. Business Standard.